Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show with our superstar producer, Howie Darkstar.
Hello.
Thank you for being who you are, Howie. Thank you for being here and putting up with us. And I will apologize to you publicly for not making your show last night.
It just was an open night. It was a lot of fun.
There's a long-winded explanation for that I'll give you here in a little bit.
Cool.
And of course, man of the hour, Pastor Jay Brannan is with us tonight.
Yeah.
No, tonight I've decided this is going to be the Jay show.
Cool.
I'm going to go ahead and let Jay just be Jay and run it how he wants to. He can ask us questions or he can completely ignore us if he wants to. It's wherever Jay takes us. That's where we're going to go.
Sounds good.
Before I do that, let me tell you about my week.
Pager. Yep, no phone
Nice.
calls.
I'll tell you about my week.
Yep, let's hear
I
it.
did a video about wedding DJ stress and anxiety. I don't know if anybody saw that title.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally turned the camera on and just kind of went. I didn't really have a plan when I turned the camera on. Video, last I checked, which has been a while, I actually did pretty well. And a lot of other people in the comment section said, yeah, I have stress too. And listed various reasons why they have it. I thought I'd share with you why I have stress this week. Just for me to complain and moan on a platform that I have here. That is the Tuesday Night Music Show.
Mm-hmm.
So got to go back. We got to go back to 2019. Okay. There was an event that I got a call for, and it was from an agent that no longer works for the agency that I do work for. They said, look, we've got an event that starts at 2:45 in the afternoon. It is a wedding ceremony. Immediately following the wedding ceremony, you start cocktail. Immediately following cocktail, you go into dinner. Immediately following dinner, you go into dancing. Ends at 11:30 a.m.
Wow.
Ooh. Seems like a pretty long day to me. So 2 setups. Real long day, right? Like, wow, that's a very long day. I'll just say that
Ends at 11:30 the next morning?
That night.
Oh, okay.
It's like, what, 9 hours or something like that? Or
it's a long
eight
day.
hours and 45 minutes?
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know,
long
something stupid.
Yeah.
Long day at any rate.
Ooh, is this a festival or a wedding?
It's a wedding. It's a wedding. To be vague about it, she threw a price at me that was ridiculously low.
Mm.
And I said, you know what? I'm not comfortable with this. It's not enough money. I'm going to lose money. There's not any money here, obviously, for me to hire an assistant to help me with this. I am, physically limited. So to ask me to work like that is asking a lot, especially if you want me to be entertaining for guests.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm exhausted, just physically exhausted. It's a lot to ask. So I didn't say yes. I didn't outright say no just because this person had attended the Dale Carnegie School of Sales and just wouldn't take no for an answer. So I left it alone. Then I got a call from her new boss who said to me, hey, I got this gig for you. I said, cool. And then they said, hey, this other agent I see was contacting you about an event they were trying to take care of. I said, yeah. It was a really long event and the money just wasn't there. I said, well, you're not comfortable with it? I said, oh no, I'm not comfortable at all with it. I said, I'll take care of it, no problem. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. So this is in 2019, mind you. So fast forward to 2020. The event disappears from the books. It's gone. Mm-hmm. Probably because of COVID, but it's gone. So I forgot about it. In December, the event pops back up. I'll also mention during COVID, this particular agent who was trying to push this event on me has been, how do we say this without saying fired? Basically fired. told to leave, don't come in, don't contact us, get out of here, restraining order, the whole bit. Get out of the way. Hit the road. The event pops back up in late 2020 on my calendar. But the money is double. And I'm thinking, okay, so I think what happened here is that they had to reschedule for 2021. And when they did, they said, hey, look, just so you know, this DJ for what you were asking for can't do it for this price, but this is the price it's going to cost you. This is what it's going to cost. And they accepted, right? Then in January of 2021, I get an email that says, look, the client has prepaid the event in full. So we're going to send you a check right now. So they did. And it was a substantial amount of money. Wow, it's a lot of money. So much money that, since we're still kind of in the pandemic here, I want to squirrel this cash away just in case. I don't want to spend money I haven't earned yet. I don't like doing that. I have a problem with that because if I do and something goes pear-shaped, I know I've had health problems before. No, I am somehow obligated to pull this money out of thin air to reimburse or to distribute to someone else or whatever the case might be. So I squirrel the money. I actually give it to my mother. I'm like, here, take this money and hide it. Because she's very good at that. She's 80 years old. That's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are last week. I wanted to do all the gig prep for this last week, but I became a grandfather again. So we had a little baby, and then we had a birthday party for my other grandson because they're 3 days apart, which is going to be great for future birthday parties. So we're going to have 2 separate parties. I'm like, well, okay, so they're going to be 3 days apart. Or do I have to take 2 weekends off from work to attend both of these parties? They're new at this. At any rate, I wasn't able to do any gig prep on this. So Sunday night, first chance I got, I thought, you know what, I'm going to look at this and just see what's going on. I looked at the online planner thing. They'd done most of it, but there were some questions. Then I look at additional provisions. And it says, meal will be provided for Brian Red and any assistant if there is assistant present. It's nice. At least they're going to feed me, right? After that, it starts talking about green screen, photo op, 2 prints per customer for 3 hours, time to be determined. FYI, I don't do photo booth.
No.
I mean, I think you guys know that. I mean, it's been dabbled in. That was a long time ago. Did somebody sell them photo booth?
Then the agency
didn't ask me about it. And now I'm expected to provide this, and I've been prepaid for it.
Hence why the figure doubled.
Well, I panicked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I was up all night trying to figure this out, trying to figure out the booths and think everything would work. I contacted Stevie. I'm like, hey, can you please help me? And the crazy part about it is I keep looking at this agreement, this purchase agreement. And I work with a band agency. They talk about number of musicians when they talk about how many personnel are going to be at the in the band or whatever. And I keep looking at this thing and it says number of musicians 1. It's like, okay. So if I were to have to provide photo booths, I would be DJing and doing that at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. I only have one hand. I can't do 2 things at once. So I want to resolve this before I can rest, because every time I tried to lay down, I couldn't. I was freaking out about this. What's going on? So I was up all night trying to contact somebody, trying to leave voicemails, trying to leave messages, as soon as the sun came up and it became 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Finally got somebody. And the long and the short of it is, we have somebody else doing photo booth. That was a mistake to put that in your additional provisions. That's nice.
So the agency is going to supply that.
Yeah. That's not on
good.
you.
Good on you.
Good.
Bad news. They accidentally paid me everything they had on the event. So I owe the photo booth guy money out of my cut.
Oh, that's
I'm back to the 2019. I don't want to do this price.
oh man.
Yeah. So that happened. Now that I actually know what's going on and I'm taking one from behind for the team, I can now contact the client and start talking to the client. Because the last thing I want to do is talk to this client, not knowing what is expected from me for scope of work. If they start talking about photo booth, I'm not going to be like, duh, what are you talking about? I feel secure enough to talk to them. Hey, when are you available? How about 7:00 tomorrow? Okay. Didn't get a lot of sleep. Had to pick Andy up early from the airport. We went out, worked on the car all day, but stopped early because I had to get home. Talk to these people. Want to get all this knocked out today. I've got this broadcast tonight. I've got, and I can get this timeline planned. So while I have company in town this week and I have things I want to do outside of the DJ world, I can have Wednesday and Thursday to do those things. And I'll take Friday as my gear prep day.
Right.
So we stop everything, get home, only to find out the client would love to reschedule for tomorrow at 7:00. That's my week. And this is why sometimes I get stressed out. And I just wanted to vent.
It's not easy sometimes.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is not.
Well, and I think the challenge for you that I don't understand, though I've been the agency, so I do understand the booking side of it, but not the being booked, is the lack of, once I'm face to face, the stress goes away. I have a wedding this Sunday, and the bride contacted me in May, hired me via email, paid me via email, gave her the music account, had some issues with it, didn't contact me till 2 weeks ago, resolved the issue. She got the music account. Last Friday, I text her saying, hey, I'd love to talk to you guys the beginning of this week. Nothing, Saturday, Sunday night. Hey, just saw this, because I also emailed. Would love to speak with you, get things squared away. Okay, great. Like 8 or 9 texts go by about last night. Do you want to meet for a drink? Do you want to meet? I live right near you. So I'm in the same neighborhood you are, more or less. We can meet. Oh, we've got a 5:30 meeting. Then I don't know when we'll be done. I don't think it'll take too long. Bless you. Can we meet after that? Maybe come here. You can eat with us. I'm like, no. I'll meet with you guys when it's convenient. So I tell Michelle, I'm probably meeting at 6. 7:45. I'm getting anxious. So I'm like, text, hey, I'm back home now. Whenever you guys are good. Oh, I was just going to text you. We can meet right now. Great. I'll be right over. Get over there. And I'm like, these two are all set. They're older. They've got it together. 2 hours in their house. And I still have more like to be determined. Their wedding is next Sunday. And I finally just said to him, I'll tell you what, if you don't give me what I need by Wednesday night, I'm still going to play things and I'm going to make them as close to what I think you want. So that's your choice.
Yeah.
Throw your hands up now and say, you drive and we'll come along, or just give me these 5 things and understand that my goal is it's a great day, but it's the face to face. They're all happy now. So and the problem is when the clients are happy, they tend to work less, not more, because they just get that sense of like, Jason, he'll handle it.
Right. Yeah. And these seem like really nice people and all. They do want a lot.
Right.
And I have to make it work somehow. But then the other side of me is saying, as much as I want to be accommodating, as much as I want to hook them up, as much as I want this to be a fantastic day for them, I'm feeling at this point like it's affecting my health to even deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
How much more blood do I got to put on the table so they have a happy day
Right.
at my expense?
Well, it's the last minute things.
Yeah.
It's the stress of last minute. Same setup. I have a wedding this coming Saturday. I got booked last Thursday for this Saturday. Everything was done. Everything was in place. Talked to the DJ company that's hiring me. You know, this is through my company. I said, absolutely. I won't bring cards. Don't worry. I'll just do my thing. She has 4 hours of music requests. I'm like, great. You know, cocktail. Oh, I usually play this. I'm like, oh, okay. Dinner. I usually play this. You know, just announce the tables. I'm like, oh, I never announce the tables. What do you mean? I said, I just think it's kind of classless. I'll walk around and invite tables up.
Mm-hmm.
We're all good. And then this morning, hey, they need your insurance. I'm like, for what? Well, because you're going to be the DJ on site. I'm like, okay, but it's going to say my company name. Make sure that the venue's good with that. Because if my insurance is going on the line and your company name is at the venue may have an issue with that. So you may want to just be prepared. Because I'm going to be, when I email them back, it's going to say, hi, this is Jay with Brannan Entertainment. Here's my insurance. I know I'm not the DJ on your venue list, nor am I on the contract, but I'm the physical DJ that's going to be there. So if there's an issue, please contact the DJ on contract and he'll take care of it.
Right.
1. 2, it's going to be 100 degrees. And I get, yeah, they were wondering if you could bring some sort of a pop-up or an umbrella. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll try. I go, it's really funny. In my contract, the very first clause is if the DJ is in direct sunlight, proper shading must be provided by the venue, client, or on site to protect the electronics as well as the DJ. So I have a coordinator who's like, so this Thursday, at the rehearsal, what will you bring enough equipment that everyone can hear you? And I'm knowing full well I'm not going to be there, so I'm like letting her talk. She's like, because I really want to get the music cue set up with you. Still waiting. She's like, so you're good with all that? I'm like, no. She's like, no. I'm like, yeah, no, I won't be attending the rehearsal. She's like, oh, seriously? I said, I haven't attended a rehearsal in probably 13 or 14 years. Really? I said, yeah. Do you normally have your DJs attend rehearsals? Always. I said, oh, okay. I said, yeah, I don't see the need for me to be there. I said, I got the lay of the land here. There's one song for everybody but the bride, one for the bride, and a recessional. What is it that your DJs can't figure out from that? Well, there are specific times. I go, that's really up to the bride to let me know, and then I can kind of time it out. But my notes don't say anything other than 3 songs. Oh, okay. Well, other DJs, it seems like it's a problem. I'm like, and I can see where this is. Excuse me. This is one of these new coordinators. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to send this out to you, all of you in YouTube land. One of the things that, this is the part where I take over the show. One of the things that I want to advise you of, and I'll give you the example that I gave some people a few months ago. I saw a young lady in a beautiful white Mercedes convertible at a drive-through.
He's making this up, by the way.
No, God, I know this one. I genuinely am. No, I did. Ask Christian. I called Pulse when it happened.
Comedian. I was having
no, this is true. Day. She had a sign on the side of her car that said, like, you know, Gutierrez Real Estate, this and that, serving Temecula, yada, yada, yada. And then at the very bottom, it gave a phone number and an email address. And the email address was like grealty@yahoo.com. Now, I'm just going to, if this affects you, take it for what it's worth. But if your email address isn't your business name, you're not a pro. No. If your email address is AOL, Yahoo, Gmail, .me, .apple, I don't care. You could be making $1 million a year as a DJ, a wedding vendor. I don't care. The woman I'm dealing with this weekend, her address is her full name at Gmail. I don't know what her company is. I can't go look her company up online. I can't figure out what she does for a living. Maybe she works for Google.
No, in April, she does taxes too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
For God's
Manages
sake.
Halloween stores and
If you own an email, if you own a website, get your address to be your first name. Like I'll give everyone my email. Spam me. I don't care. I get enough crap as it is. This is the email I give everyone. j@jdj.com.
And Howie at djhowie.com.
Just
simple.
you need to have a credible thing. Yeah. So as I'm talking to our @Gmail coordinator, she's like, oh, okay. I've decided now this is going so slow in the convo. I need to speed it up. So I go, well, I'll be there early Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. Can I be honest? She's like, yes, I know, Brian, but you'll see why I said it. I go, it's my first wedding and I'm so excited about it. And she's like, really? I was like, yep. She's like, oh my gosh, wow. And I'm like, and you can just hear her starting to kind of spin. And I go, no, just kidding. This is probably going to be my 2000 and something wedding. I'm like, I'm good to go. I've won awards. I've been around 25 years. Oh, then I guess maybe I should follow you. This is where I get exactly what I thought I was going to get, because this is only my 5th wedding. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of fucking figured that part out. I'm like, yeah, but if you can get shading for me, that would be really appreciated. I go, it's not even for me. It's for the electronics that could break down, and the wedding could be ruined.
yeah.
Because it's not really I said, this is through another company, Dom. My company, it's actually the first clause I have. And it's so funny now with these heat waves going on, how that's such an afterthought about taking care of the DJ.
Right.
But in moving forward with the show, basing it off of Brian's things, I'm finding more and more and more we're getting the week of, oh, did I mention? In fact, the last wedding I did, the bride said, one of my bridesmaids is going to sing my processional. I said, oh, okay, great. Just so you know, I don't have a sound system for her. Oh, you don't? Well, she might need a microphone. I said, if it's only a microphone and a cable, I can help her out. But hopefully she's bringing some sort of amplification. Well, her husband's bringing an amplifier that they use when they play. Perfect. So, of course, when I get to the wedding, hey, how are you? Good. I'm Bethany. I'm going to be singing. I'm like, oh, awesome, Bethany. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. Where's the PA? I'm like, yeah, I don't have one. Excuse me? Yeah. The bride specifically told me that you were preparing microphones and sound. I'm like, you know what? Weddings are such a stressful time that I'm not going to throw the bride under the bus on this one. But I'm just going to tell you, this is the 30th wedding I've done this year. I know what I said. I have 2 microphones. I have 2 inputs. You would be the 3rd microphone. And I know I told her no. So now the bride gets wind of it. Oh no, what are we going to do? And now I have to do this. I go, well, in an emergency, I suppose I could go down to the lower parking lot and grab a speaker and bring it back up, which I don't want to do, and hook it all up for her to sing a bad version of Train. By the way, I clocked it. 1 minute and 11 seconds of Train she sang, and then stopped because the bride made it to the ceremony site. And it's like, I've always wondered, how do we specifically get these things across to people that it's not coming back to us later? Because it seems as though that it's almost the hotel mentality. Like, I'm already in the hotel room. I've already paid you for my stay here at the, Acme Hotel. Hey guys, I noticed there's no fridge. Any way to get a fridge up here? The hotel's going to say, absolutely, sir. It's $25 a day. Oh, I've already paid you guys. You couldn't just throw that in? No, I'm sorry. And you'd pay it or not get the fridge. But when it comes to wedding vendors, it's, Oh, did I mention that I wanted to have Andy, my buddy from, Sandy, LA, come out and sing? Yeah, no, you didn't mention that.
A friend of mine who I recently spoke to, who was in our business, or was booking for our business, and recently retired, said, I'm retiring at the right time because people used to come to me for my expertise and ask me, hey, this is what I have in front of me. What do you recommend? And I would make a recommendation based on who they were and what their needs and wants were. And I give them options. There's option A, B, and C. A's a bunch of money. B's in the middle of the road. C is a budget option. All these things will work for you. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. He said, now, when I talk to somebody and I try to suggest something or tell them something, they're like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me who to go with. This is my decision. It's a generational thing. I believe that. I really do. And we're in the middle. I'm not ready to retire, by the way, but this guy was, and I really liked his reasoning on it. Because I'm experiencing that too. Everybody knows every damn thing. You can't tell anybody anything. Everybody wants to just plan the stuff on a whim off the top of their head. It's tough.
We've discussed this, and the issue is Spotify and YouTube Music and Apple Music and BeatSource and Beatport and BPM Supreme and DJ. The access to the one defining thing that made a DJ a DJ. Because if 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if I went to a city and saw 5 DJs, the best DJ may not be the guy that could scratch the best, but it would have been the guy dropping tracks that I was like, where did that come from? Oh my gosh, because that was the one defining characteristic of a great DJ, in my opinion. It wasn't his scratching. Mm-hmm. It was the beats that he had or she had and that they found and they were crate digging. That's all kind of gone away now because the access to music is so easy that everyone has it in their head. This isn't that big of a deal.
I don't think it's gone away. I just think that
no, but it's
now where it's like, I Shazammed what you were playing and it's this, right? It's
I've gotten
that it's gone. They still want to know what you're playing, but it's less of a mystery because they figured it out for themselves and the conversation's gone.
Right, but if you don't know how the guy does the magic trick and he says, I want 10 grand to show you, you're going to pay him. Once you know how he does it. I
believe what you're suggesting, which is that access to music has been detrimental to us as professionals because the clients now don't see us with this much credibility as or
value,
but just even, what word am I looking for? Experts on this kind of stuff. They feel like they're experts as well. It goes beyond that. And if I've told this story before, please stop me. Please stop me.
Is it the Lady Gaga story? Oh.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have new neighbors next door.
Yeah, the older woman died.
No, on the other side of me.
Oh, okay.
And their names are Hannah and Bryce. Now, I don't know if their names clue you into about how old they are.
Mm-hmm.
But spoiler alert, early to mid.
They're under 30s, yeah.
Under 30.
Yeah. Yeah, Bryce is definitely under 30.
Hannah and Bryce. And
his collar is either up or he's wearing Birkenstocks. Yeah, I got Bryce's number.
Nice people.
Where do they park the Prius? In front of the house or in the driveway?
Right in front of the house.
Okay.
Right in front of the house. However,
stuff's got wisdom in it.
However, one day I came home from probably wrenching on a car or something. I don't know what I was doing. Pulled into the driveway.
And there was a yoga mat that blew over to your yard.
There were 3 grown men in beards, dressed very nice, and for some reason all wearing socks, like, and no shoes, trying to jack up a Ford F-150.
Oh, and the jack's not high enough. So
that I'm confident they've never used a day in their life.
Yeah. Wow.
So I go out there and I'm looking at this situation and they are struggling. They're taking turns jacking this thing up. They're literally all the way under the car trying to jack it up. It's high.
So they're smart too.
So I said, hey, I got tools
on my
here.
hand.
Can I help? No, we got this. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We got this. Like,
They're wearing nothing but
Okay.
socks. Okay.
okay. And if you've been to my house, you know that I live on a very busy street. The street kind of does this as it comes to the curb, and if you're jacking a car up, there's a point of failure there that can happen. So I'm looking at the situation. They can and they're getting ready to jack the thing all the way off the ground, and there's very old Wisconsin rusted on lug nuts on this tire.
Oh God.
So I said, it would probably be a good idea if you broke the lug nuts loose from the tire before you completely jack the vehicle in the air. No, we got this. We know what we're doing. We've got this. We got this. They try to do it and they can't. So I'm standing there, saying, hey, how would you like an impact wrench? Oh, that would be good. So I go downstairs. Do you have an impact wrench? I'm like, of course.
I'm a man.
I go downstairs and I grab
tools.
one.
Didn't
With the 3/8 socket on it.
We brought our toolbox with us.
and I'm like, have any of you ever used one of these before? Yeah, we got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Stick it on there. They zap all 6 lugs off of this car. And I'm like, guys, hold on a minute. I said, loosen the lugs. If you don't have any lugs on the car
and it falls,
and you jack it up and it falls, it's going to crush you. No, we've done this before. I'm like, please put 2 lug nuts on the car. Please do this. Please.
Yeah.
So they do.
Wow.
And the jack.
Get back under the car and start jacking it up again. And one of them says, I think I could get the tire off. So take the 2 lugs off, pull the tire off, roll the spare over. Guess what? The spare's too tall. It needs to get jacked up higher. So what do? They go under the truck. I'm like, guys, please don't do this. Nobody wanted to listen to me.
And now
I am not
dead.
I am not. What do they call it? The motor pool guy. I am not a mechanic, but I'm a man who's been around more than twice as long as they have. I've seen some stuff and I'm trying to help. But nobody wants to hear that because they want to know everything. They've watched YouTube videos. They read a book or an article one time, or they saw this Facebook meme that came through that explained how to do it. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. They know every damn thing. That's the problem with the DJ industry, too. This is not unique to the DJ industry. This is a generation thing.
No, I agree. There are guys 5 years in the business making twice what we make combined, and they are still underpaid in their eyes. And I feel like saying to them, well, I can name 20 songs that you should play at every event that you can't name. It's like,
well, that's marketing. And you know what? If they got a good marketing game and they can make some dough on this, fine. We'll step ours up. I mean, I am not beyond taking the challenge of competition. I'm not the guy who's going to be sitting around saying, you know what? I'm obsolete because these other DJs make more than me and I can't make that kind of money, because that is an excuse, and it's a lame excuse. I think if there are other DJs out there with 5 years experience making a lot more money than you are, then you need to step your game up.
Right.
And make more than they're making.
No, and I agree with that, but it's not even the money issue. It's the issue of, this was a profession that you got into and you behaved. You got in line. And if you'd been here a year, you were here. And if I'd been here 3 years, I was here. And 5 years, 10 years, there was a pecking order. That went away about 10 or 12, 15 years ago. And it became a free-for-all of, and it was also the time when I started noticing more and more DJs with full-time jobs getting in. And I'm like, wait, what are these guys doing? And it's like that Craigslist.
It's always been the case here. Always.
All of a sudden you get the guy that's like, I'm making 25 grand a year as a DJ, but I make 80 grand a year as a, plumber or
that's Wavy Davy.
Guy for the
He's
state.
always done that.
Yeah.
He's always done that.
Right.
Hell, I've tried it here and there.
That's fine. But then don't say you're a full-time DJ. Just say, I'm a weekend warrior DJ. It's like the guys that are more entertainer than DJ that we know that make the most money because they have this mastery of the microphone and they get the right client for that. It's maybe not my client or your client, But
It's very niche.
at the end of it, you got to stop and say, I want multiple titles. Like, I love the mix. I can't wait to get after dinner to dancing, to do something I've never done before, or find a new hot cue, or figure a way to introduce a song that they already know in a way that makes it totally new and exciting to them. Whether it's a harmonic mix, whether it's a transition, whether it's a key shift, whatever it is. But that's the excitement. That's the battlefield for me. That's when the skills come out.
I can't
as a
hate
DJ.
on these folks who do this stuff. And I know who you're talking about, the ones who are masters of the mic and they've got these niche clients that do this. I can't hate on them. And I'll tell you
No,
why.
I don't think that I'm hating on them. I'm saying they're not DJs. It's like when I go to a beer bar that serves beer and wine and they're like, yeah, the bartender. I'm like, do me a favor. I was a bartender. They're not bartenders.
Well,
they're not serving like 18 mixed drinks that are layered and a frozen margarita, 2 pitchers, and taking an order of appetizers. They're standing here telling me how this IPA has got a mosaic hop to it. Like that's a beer person.
Be splitting hairs.
No, it's not.
I just have to ask myself.
And the stupid seltzer kids, what's that all about?
I have to ask myself, what won't I do for $20? You know, I mean, that's the old joke.
$20
right?
is $20. Though,
$20 is $20. What?
You
where
need
will I
the ride. You need the ride.
I will draw the line on being a party clown at an event. I draw the line there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. One of the many lines that I will draw. There's certain things I won't do.
I've never taught a dance. I've never taught the Macarena, and I've been asked.
That was
hundreds.
last
I loved
night
it.
show.
Hundreds of times. No, this is true. We're tapping into greatness.
I used to teach the Macarena, and people liked it, and more people came out when I could. There came a time 10 years ago when I could no longer do that. So I
always thought it was my goal to get the right song on, and that would let the music do the talking. That was always my motto. Let the music do the talking. I'm not up there to say, hey, everyone, hey, guys, I need you out here on the floor. Because if I'm in the audience and a DJ yells, get out here, my first thought is no.
Ideally, the music should do the talking. I agree. And that's my philosophy.
That's my philosophy.
Over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
However,
if your songs aren't working, play better songs.
However, if I'm working within what I would consider an intimate crowd, where we all know each other's name by now, not that I'm doing it now because I kind of can't, but I do it a little different than you might imagine, where I will just maybe kill the volume on the mixer and say, you guys need a hand? In that tone of voice. Yeah, all right, here. This is how you do it. And you just, again, I watch stand-up comedy. It's all about delivery. If you go, hey, everybody, I'm going to teach you the Macarena today, then you got a problem because there's a lot of those guys. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands out like this. That's a problem.
Yeah, but you know what, Brian?
It's all in how you approach it.
But here's the thing. And I have friends that are in this industry that are doing very well. And by very well, a minimum of over, let's say, average wedding for them is $25,000 to $3,000 a wedding. And they're putting out 70, 80 weddings a year. So I would consider that as a DJ, if you're breaking $200,000 a year, you know what? More power to you. You're doing very well. And and some of them are, hey, what's up, everybody? And they will say to me, I do the DJ voice, and it's what the clients like, and it's what the clients want, and it's what they expect, and it's what I deliver. This is the weirdest part about everything we've said so far. There is no real right or wrong. Right. There is at the end of the day what I consider to be the intent. Was the intent, if you played music at that event for their pleasure more than yours, you're a DJ. If you showed up with the understanding that no matter what it takes, they're happy, then you're a DJ.
I like it when you preach like this.
But if you showed up with the intent of showing off your lights, showing off a CO2 gun, if it's more about you than the client, then you're being selfish.
You remember, what was it? I guess it was 2 weekends ago I did the quinceañera, right?
Yes.
Did you see the video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look good.
Oh, a second.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Hay
Did
fever.
Did you notice the decor in the video?
I did.
It
Mhm.
was nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice.
It was
It's very pretty. There was a crew that came in to do that. Latino family. It's the father leading the thing, and the mother and the daughter, and they were in there working like worker bees, knocking it out. I thought it was gorgeous, for what they wanted to do. And when the client came in, they were just awestruck. They loved the decor. So while they're setting up, I'm setting up. I put up my table, I put up my speakers, and I'm noticing that this stuff looks really sharp. And I put up my lights, which I did like 12 ape cans with the Fresnel lenses and did a pattern behind me. And then on top of that, I did some washes just to kind of give it a little more pop,
Yeah.
By the way, the people decorating, they did some pars and things while they did their own uplighting. So I didn't have to do that in the room. I made it all dance lighting for me. So the dad, the guy who's running this decor company, doesn't speak a lot of English, but he comes up to me and says, "Those lights are beautiful. What are those?" And I told him, and I showed him how they worked. He said, "I love them." I said, "Let me show you something." He pulls up a picture of the most amazing LED dance floor I've ever seen. Gorgeous. Big DJ system, giant subwoofers, big lighting rig with lights flashing right in your eyes, but this LED dance floor that was just out of this world. I'm sure you could project video on it. It was good. And he shows it to me. He says, "This is my daughter's quinceañera last year, or the year before, whatever it was. Or I spent a lot of money on this. And I just want to tell you that I like what you have better." And I said, when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I don't want the attention to be on me. I want the attention to be on her. It's her day. Mm-hmm. He looked at me and he smiled and he put his hand on my shoulder and patted me. He's like, "Yes, you understand."
Yeah. No, you do.
That was so cool because, he had fallen for the big, "Hey, everybody." Yet he recognized what I was doing and thought, "Wow, this is what we should have done. This makes more sense."
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, it's her special day, but everybody's looking at that lit up robot.
Right.
Wait a minute. What's wrong here?
And granted, I bet you 100% of the time she wanted the robot. So it's not. Let's not get twisted with, oh, they're bitching about DJs. It's not bitching about or complaining about DJs. It's pointing out the fact that there seems to be a real separation of late with the technology, allowing for, one, the clients to lessen our value because the access to the tools of our trade are so accessible. But also, two, there's a new frontier out there of make it about me, not about you. And I have been a DJ professionally since 1996.
Surely not.
My first gig.
Nobody was alive in 1990.
Not in this audience.
No.
And by the way, I was 7. So I started very, very young.
Yes, you did.
Actually, I started right after the first AARP call came in, and then I said, I got to do something else. So at the time in the club, I would say my name. But I remember one of my mentors at weddings said, "Don't ever make it about you." I'm like, well, like signage, like I should have my name in front. No signage. No signage? No. They want your card, they'll come get it. Maybe put them in front of your DJ booth, but that's it. Don't ever put them on the place tables. I've seen guys put them in front of every place setting. No. I said, so when I introduce myself, should I say, "Hi, I'm Jay with Brannan Entertainment"? He goes, "I'll be honest with you. I think you should welcome the crowd to the venue." That's it. So I never say my name at an event.
I don't say my company.
There's a mystique about it almost where people look at you at the end of the night and go, "Man, that was killer. You got a card? Like, this was amazing." And I think some of it is because I didn't pump them up with like, "Hey, everybody, it's DJ J, Brannan Entertainment. Let's go party."
Whenever I do an introduction, though, if I think about it, I don't mention a company name, but I don't.
Right.
Do you say your own name?
Yeah.
I just
I'll
don't.
say, but I won't say my full name.
Not a right or wrong.
I won't say my full name.
First name too. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Brian. I'll be your DJ tonight.
Yeah. Just
And then you move on to the next thing.
So I'm approachable. They
Yeah.
can, hey,
No.
Can you do
Please
this
let me
for
know. You got a
I
request?
totally get it.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And I think where it stems from is in the beginning being really anxious and wanting to say as little as possible. And then just getting to the meat of it is where I started. And I just kept going. And there was a point in the early 2000s where it started to become about the DJ. And I got we don't want cheesy. I'm like, not cheesy. I don't even say my name at the wedding. I'm not making all this cheesy talk. They're like, oh, perfect. You know, the market trends itself.
I think
Right now it's, trending to play great music. And
I'm thinking of being an event. And I just can't get that out of my head. I know we're moving on to something else, but I can't get this out of my head. I'm at an event. I'm chilling out. I hear over the microphone, hey, everybody, my name's Howie. I'll be your DJ tonight. I'm not going to forget Howie. It's a name you don't hear every day. Well, Howie hears it every day because his name's Howie, but most people
I do, yeah.
don't hear it every day.
Right. No, I understand that.
But that, okay, you know what? Hey, Howie, I have a question for you. Can you play this? It just makes it so approachable and personable without being
totally
cheesy.
Understand. No. But Brian, like a lot of things, I have argued the wedding I have Saturday, don't worry, they'll feed you. I'm like, oh, I don't eat at my events. What do you mean you don't eat at your events? I'm like, I just choose to not eat at my events.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's in my contract. No, you're getting fed. I'm like, well, I'm not going to eat it because I don't eat at my events. And like everyone always has a heart attack about that. Like, I'm 209 pounds. What am I going to collapse? I don't think so. I'll make it through. Don't worry about it.
There is a difference.
But it's my thing. Like I should be allowed to be me at my events and do my thing. Like I wouldn't even consider having a sip of this the day of a wedding or at the wedding. And I have clients at every, dude, oh man, you're killing it. Let's do a shot. I don't drink. What?
Yeah.
10:01. Like I can't tell you the events I do. 80% of them, 10:01, the bride and groom walk over with a drink in their hand and go, can you have it with us now? And I'm like, yep. Yeah. Cheers. I hope you guys are happy. Bang. And they're thrilled. But it's the point of letting them know that the focus isn't on me. It's not about me. And I'm not Elton John or Beyonce or Foo Fighters or anything else. But you know what? They come out on stage. They're there to do something for you.
I really,
the audience. I'm there to do it for my client. Why would I say in the middle of it, hey guys, give me a second. I need a sandwich. I'll be right back. I think my clients are more impressed with the fact that all they see is me working.
I really appreciate your position on this, and I appreciate your reasoning behind your position on this. I just guess I would caution anyone who is trying to go out there and do their best, and they want to be open-minded and grow or whatever, is to not hardline anything too much. Just get in your head, I'm never doing this, and because it's not what you do, Howie. It's how you do it.
How you do it.
Maybe 18 years ago, I did a wedding for a friend, not full fare. Sunday night, I went in the other room with the vendors and we ate. And then I came out.
You got food poisoning.
I walked over and there was no music. And I'm like, and the table next to my DJ setup, I go, hey guys, how long has the music been off? They're like, I don't know, like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. Like the other tracks were dead, the CD stopped or whatever.
Yeah.
So I casually mentioned this to my wife that night. How'd the wedding go? Good. This and that. Oh yeah, at one point the music went off. She goes, really? So nobody there looked at you as being really top notch then? I go, well, it was a great wedding. They all danced and yeah, but the music's shutting off. I'm like, well, they didn't care. They're like bros and it's all good. She goes, do you eat at every event? I said, well, everyone eats at every event. She goes, well, why do you eat? I go, because they're eating. She goes, jump off the bridge. I'm like, No. She goes,
Jay makes his moral decisions at events based on the PTSD he has from Michelle yelling at him for doing stuff.
yeah. No, but then she brought up a valid
Hey.
point. No.
Keg stand.
For you younger DJs who don't remember this,
I would never do a kickstand. I did one of Michelle. I told her about it and she yelled at me.
back
Never happened again.
back in the day, she said to me, "Do they charge for vendor meals?" I'm like, "Every event."
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "So if you're talking to a client and you and another DJ are the same price, but he eats and you don't, isn't that a better selling point?" And that got in my
I
head
actually use that.
too. So I would start saying,
Yeah.
and again, this is back in the $100 an hour DJ days
Yeah, right.
of, everyone's in the same boat, but I'm actually cheaper by 100 because I don't eat. And that's just kind of where it started. And then it became one of these, you know what? I feel there have been several weddings over the last 20 years where I have sat with guests at a table eating because I knew the bride and groom really well or their family or something. And I got to tell you, I felt out of place. I felt it was inappropriate. I felt it looked unprofessional because I would get up, wipe my face with a napkin, get up and then go play tunes for them. I'm the worker. I work for them. I don't feel it's, and you can view it any way you want. I'm sure I'll get shit in the comments and I don't care.
No.
It's just the way I view it. And the way I view it is from the second I show up, I take a lot of pride in when I get off my lazy butt in the Jeep. The next time I sit down is when I get in the Jeep to move it up to unload. I don't sit. I don't eat. I don't take breaks. I don't drink. I really like, and the other night, wedding, hey, we're going to do the toast in about 2 minutes. You guys good? Yeah, we're good. You got champagne? No. Anything else? I'm out of water. I come back with a glass of water and a glass of champagne. Bride put it in the review on Wedding Wire. She's like, Jay went so above and beyond. He got me water and champagne before the toast because I needed it. And even though I could have gotten up and gotten it, Jay ran over to the bar to get it for me. Because
so now thanks to you, I'm going to have all my clients say, well, do you provide me with champagne and water? Because Jay Brannan at Brannan Entertainment, Temecula, California, Swinging Temecula, California, he does that. There's reviews about this.
Thank you.
Thanks for screwing us.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Well, one of the best reviews I ever got.
Now I'm a waiter
Santa
too.
Barbara. And I said to the bride, she didn't want to do the hora. And the way the hora is done out here, I'm sure everywhere else, the bride and groom sit in 2 chairs back to back. Or side by side, and 4 people pick up each chair. They're in the air. They hold a napkin. And the bride really looked panicked. And I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. When you get up in the air, I'll watch your eyes. And if you start to look scared, I'll get on the mic and cancel it and have them bring you down. She was up there maybe 8 seconds, and you could just see fear. It's like, yes, now we do the part where they come down on the dance floor and hold the napkin. And they brought them right down. The review on Wedding Wire, she's like, Jay was an amazing DJ, dance floor full. But I have to tell you, he said to me he would watch my eyes during the horror if I got scared. I got scared, and the second I did, his voice came out and said, okay, now bring them down. She's like, I can't tell you how much that meant to me, that he was paying so much attention to what I needed and how I felt at my own wedding.
Signed Karen.
Brian, this is a true story. Look at this, folks. See that? Brand
there it is.
Now, here's the other side.
Oh, who's that handsome lad?
All the services here, and down at the bottom, it says waiter.
Nice.
Yeah. It's right on there. I wouldn't lie. I got it right.
Say,
got that from the man himself.
Waiter.
Thousands of Karens in Temecula agree. Jay Brannan is the DJ that you want to hire.
The guy you want to hire.
He is.
Thank you, Karen.
May I speak to your manager?
Stephanie, by the way. No, you know what? I think the joy of this, and I'm grateful and blessed this year to be as busy as I am. I really am. And it's really making me notice more of the industry as a whole. And I'm hearing from a lot of DJs around the country. Everyone seems to be getting back at it, and they're getting the cobwebs off, and they're getting back into the swing of things. But I think there's more of a separation now. And I'm kind of hoping we all go back to the focus on what you have in front of you. And it's like the stress becomes debilitating.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, our livelihood is based on this. And we're going to get done with this show in a little bit, hang in the chill room tonight. I have 3 or 4 song edits to do. I have to set up a creative music for a client I've never met. He's got 4 hours worth of songs for Saturday. But I'm going to go in and do the best job I possibly can for them.
Of course.
It's still, I still believe KK Downing's comment that I read back in like 1980.
Is this about you're only as good as your last event?
You're only as good as your last gig. And I believe that with all my heart. If you show up every gig understanding, make it a little better than last time. I've trained my kids. If you ask Connor and Colin, hey, give us an expression your dad's brought you up with, they'll both say it, even though they don't live it any more than I do most of the time. But they'll tell you one of the expressions I've really tried to instill in them is leave things better than you found them. Mm-hmm. And that's my goal at weddings. Walk in the door and have someone leave going, this is everything I wanted. I have no regrets.
Let's do a show next week, Howie.
All right.
Where we let Jay just talk. And then every once in a while, you just mute him. And you and I spend a few minutes heckling what he just said.
And I'll keep talking through it.
Yeah. Okay, your mic's back on. Go.
Oh, by the way, I've got good news. There's a possibility I will be available next week, but much like a couple weeks ago where I was in the car, I might be sitting in a hotel room next Tuesday in the beautiful city that some would call Lost Wages. I, of course, would refer to as the beautiful Las Vegas.
In 115 degrees, but you'll be indoors.
It will be a little warm. Yeah,
yes, but you'll be indoors.
For the show, I'll be indoors. Yeah, I've given... Good. Colin has a little schooling this summer, and I've said to him, his friends are all going away, and I said, hey, let's work on schooling, and maybe we'll spend the first 3 days of next week in Vegas.
Oh, so you're not working, like, you're just going to bring... Oh, that's
I'm going to bring him along,
good for you.
Obviously. So, because he said something about going to Golden Nugget, to the pool where they have the clear slide that goes through the Shark Tank. I'm like, hey, do a good week, good job, little summer school he's got. Do a good job on tests this week, and we'll go stay at the Golden Nugget Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. How's that? Seriously? I'm like, yeah, why not? We'll go.
Excellent.
So, might be in Vegas next week.
I have to apologize. My coughing fit's going to begin soon. But I want to thank you all for joining us.
I was going to say good timing. The show's just about
another
done.
Tuesday Night Music Show. We will see you next week.
Yep. Peace. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.